Welcome back. President Trump's immigration crackdown already showing signs of success as he pushes back on reports that he is upset that deportation numbers aren't higher.
I think they're doing an incredible job. It's very tough. Deportations, finding murderers is not easy. Some of them are actually very smart. They shouldn't be in our country. They wouldn't have been. We had beautiful, we just set records for closure. We have the strongest border we've had in many years since my term. They're doing an amazing job, I think.
California GOP Chair of Chairs, which is the coolest title ever, and former congressional candidate John Dennis joins me now. John, as of February 3, there were over 5,000 deportations since Trump took office. An internal CBP memo showing migrants are turning back due to tighter border security. Quote, upon learning about the multi-agency force security on the southwest border in social media and through family members in the United States, the migrants decided to return to their country of origin. Seems like deterrence is working, John.
It is, and it just goes to show that the Biden administration not only laid out the welcome mat, they actually started the escalator to bring people into the country. So, little headwinds, some impediments, and people realize that this is no longer, we're no longer a doormat for the world's immigrants, and that you have to get in line like everyone else.
What do you make of the numbers so far? That number, I don't really have a context for it, but it seems like with all the obstruction that so many other sanctuary jurisdictions are putting forward toward the Trump administration, it seems like over 5,000 in basically 2 weeks is pretty darn good.
Yeah, off to a good start. I mean, a long way to go. I mean, the numbers during the Biden administration were astronomical. I mean, I've heard 8 million, 10 million people allowed to come in the United States. But I think the important thing here is that as we show that we're serious about removing people, that a lot of folks who are here illegally who don't want to get arrested are going to send themselves back. That is, I think, the most important thing is putting impediments up and hindering people from coming and letting them know that we're serious about this issue. Will get people, thinking about what they should do.
But there is a movement to work against the Trump administration. A leaked ICE memo revealing the details of a planned migrant crackdown in Los Angeles. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem saying the FBI is so corrupt, we will work with any and every agency to stop leaks and prosecute these crooked deep state agents to the fullest extent of the law. She is presuming the FBI had something to do with this. That information hopefully will come out in due course. But how deep do you think the rot is working against Trump's agenda, specifically when it comes to immigration?
Well, I think it's as deep as the deep state is. And, for those people who've done this, my dream, my fervent dream is that they catch whoever leaked that information, because they put law enforcement in danger. And I think that the deportations are. Let's just go back to this. In Colorado, the Tren de Aragua gang was given a heads up when they took over an apartment complex. Now, think about that. Think if you're the people who live in that complex and the people who, the Tren de Aragua gang members won't be held responsible because someone either in law enforcement or somewhere else along the line leaked that information. This is not acceptable in the United States. So my greatest hope is that we catch who the leakers are and do prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
So that's one way people are obstructing this administration. San Francisco, meantime, leading a lawsuit against Trump's threats to punish sanctuary cities. San Francisco city attorney saying this is the federal government illegally asserting a right it does not have, telling cities how to use their resources and commandeering local law enforcement. John, is the Trump administration doing any of that, or are they merely asking the sanctuary jurisdictions to simply prevent violent felons from being free on the streets? It seems like there's a major disconnect, and these sanctuary leaders don't understand ultimately what Trump is asking, or in the alternative, if they do understand, they just want to ignore it to blow this up out of proportion completely.
Well, it's particularly egregious in San Francisco because we have had instances of criminal aliens who've come in and murdered families on the streets of San Francisco. And, there's a relationship between the federal government and local law enforcement. And local law enforcement in the city of San Francisco can create a policy that, that prevents them from working with the federal government. But at the same time, the federal government can also work to withhold the federal funds that come to San Francisco. At some point, the grown-ups are going to have to step into the room and realize that Trump won. This is an issue that polls very highly with people, and they're going to have to come to some sort of an accommodation because we cannot allow, criminal aliens to roam San Francisco and threaten its citizens.
Yeah, it's the will of the people, but it's also logic. I mean, why would you allow these criminals to roam free? But it's an argument that we've been having with the left, it seems, for years now. He's the chair of chairs. His name is John Dennis. Thanks for getting up with us early on the West Coast. We appreciate it.